Assalamualaikum and good morning. My name is Filzana binti Ahmad Zohaimi.
And my name is Nurul Shahira binti Ahmad Zaidi. Hi, today Firzana and I will talk about takaful industry in Malaysia and Nigeria. Before we started, let me introduce what is takaful first. Takaful is derived from the Arabic term kafalah, which signifies guaranteeing each other or joint guarantee. The notion is in accordance with compensation concepts and shared community duties. In 2013, Bank Negara Malaysia (BNM) legally defined takaful as a mutual assistance arrangement under which members of takaful agree to contribute to the joint fund for the mutual financial advantages paid to the participants or beneficiaries of takaful in cases of agreed upon circumstances. Okay, now let's look up to the timeline of the historical development of takaful industry in Malaysia. First, we can see that there is establishment of takaful business in Malaysia in the early 1980s. This establishment was motivated by the Muslim public's prevalent demand for a Sharia-compatible alternative to the conventional insurance business. Next, we can see that in 1982, the government created a special task force to examine the potential of establishing an Islamic insurance firm, followed by complementing the Islamic Bank in 1983. Thus, in 1984, the initial Takaful Act was executed and the first Takaful operator was formed in Malaysia in November 1984. In accordance with the task force recommendations, followed by the commencement of operation on 22nd July 1985. After a little over a decade of existence, this was then turned into a public limited company on 98 October 1995, following its listing in Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad on the main board, which is now people acknowledge as the main market on 30th July 1996. Maybank owned M&I Insurance and Takaful National correspondingly via insurance firm Maybank Fortis from 2005. A support from the Malaysian government, which published International Takaful Operators Guidelines (ITO) in late 2006, might accomplish the successful of the takaful sector in Malaysia. As for 2006, there were 7 takaful operators and later in 2007, they renamed it as Etika Takaful. There are now 8 takaful operators in Malaysia and 3 retakaful operators in Malaysia. Now we go to Nigeria. The origin of takaful in Nigeria started in 2004 when takaful was offered to the public along with its conventional insurance services by African Alliance Insurance Company Limited. Next, an operator in takaful was the first to be awarded a composite license in 2013, offering the two which are family takaful as well as general takaful. National Insurance Commission of Nigeria (NICOM), as a regulatory authority for takaful and insurance in Nigeria, had issued 2013 operational guidelines for takaful insurance in 2013. This is the first official guideline for the country's takaful operation.
Now, I will be talking about jurisdiction that govern takaful industry. In Malaysia, our central bank has set down certain values to ensure that the whole Islamic financial system runs in fulfillment with the Sharia principles. Bank Negara Malaysia is settled with comprehensive lawful authority under certain laws to control and administer the financial system such as Takaful Act 1984, Central Bank of Malaysia Act 2009 and Islamic Financial Services Act 2013. Firstly is Takaful Act 1984. This act focuses on the regulation of takaful companies in Malaysia along with any other purposes regarding takaful. Section 11(1)(a) of the Act stated that the registration of an operator is possible to be nullified as a whole or in the matter of a class of business. This might happen if the operator is found performing an act that includes parts that are prohibited by the Sharia. Next is the Central Bank of Malaysia Act 2009. This act contributes to the continuation of Bank Negara Malaysia together with the management, objectives, purposes, and competency of the bank for subsequent or incidental matters. Section 51 of the Act suggests that the Sharia Advisory Council (SAC) is placed as sovereignty for the decision-making of Islamic law for Islamic financial business, and they will be consulted by the arbitrator or judiciary on any disputes relating to Sharia matters in the subject of Islamic banking, finance, and takaful cases. Third is the Islamic Financial Services Act 2013. This Act issues a framework for the protection of takaful users, specifically on the solvency of takaful, and as a result, the infrastructure is in the place of impending particular loss. This Act assists the ruling and administration of Islamic financial institutions, payment systems, and other relevant institutions, along with supervision of the Islamic money market and Islamic foreign exchange market, in developing financial stability which comply with the Sharia. Meanwhile, in Nigeria, the takaful industry there is governed under the Insurance Act 2003 and 2013. The disclosure of the end result of leaving out takaful in the Insurance Act can be recognized in Section 10(1)(2) of the Act, while Section 9(4) of the Act restricts the ability of NICOM to upward review of paid-out share capital, despite the fact that the takaful principles reduce the minimum paid-up capital for takaful operators. Section 100 of the 2003 Insurance Act carries ascendancy over any other legislation regarding insurance operations in Nigeria, as the provisions of the Act overcome any provisions in other legislation which refute it. This is to ensure harmony is achieved between the Insurance Act and takaful principle.
Next, there are 4 takaful models used in Malaysia. There are Mudharabah, Wakalah, Hybrid Wakalah Mudharabah, and Wakaf Takaful Contract. Firstly, Mudharabah contract is profit sharing contract. In this contract, the operator of the takaful act as Mudharib on the side of client. Participants made contribution that recognized as robbul mal. The takaful operator supervises the payments of covered risk claims to takaful participants and takaful fund investment. Secondly, we have wakalah contract. This is an agency contract. This model is simply an agent-principal connection whereby the takaful operator acts on behalf of its customers and thereby gets a fee for services delivered. Next, for hybrid wakalah mudharabah contract, it is a combination between mudharabah and wakalah model where a relationship between operator that act as mudharib as well as the agent for the participants. For your information, this model is entitled as sophisticated model. Lastly is wakaf takaful contract. This approach operates so that customers make monthly payments regularly in order to collect enough money at the end of their savings plans to create a wakaf. As for takaful model that exists in Nigeria, there use only 3 models that similar to Malaysia, which are mudharabah, wakalah, and also hybrid. As far as I'm concerned, they are not using wakaf takaful contract.
Next is the challenges and problems faced in developing a cohesive regulatory framework for the takaful industry. Awareness on takaful operators are quite low in Malaysia, although many projects and initiatives have been established with the intention of building up awareness on takaful among communities, such as Jalinan Takaful Iftar Ramadan event by Malaysian Takaful Association together with Etika Takaful Berhad. Besides that, certain selected local universities also have organised seminars under academic seminars as reported by Malaysian Takaful Association. Yet, the limited awareness is the main problem encountered by takaful operators. The takaful penetration rate in Malaysia has always been considered low, especially among lower income households or B40 level. It is reported that the takaful penetration rate in 2018 was positioned at 15.2% compared to 14.5% in 2019, and might be even lower in current times due to the negative growth of the economy as well as negative impact from lockdown because of COVID-19. Next is the shortage of Sharia scholars. Every takaful company needs to own a Sharia supervisory committee to administer the company's business. These Sharia scholars are ought to be proficient in handling Sharia affairs in the financial area and most mainly on private financial transactions in takaful. Similar to Malaysia, Nigeria also experiences lack of proficient manpower as there are shortages of skilled workers in staffing and as membership of takaful operators. Majority employees there are well informed on conventional insurance but lack of knowledge in the subject matter of Sharia operations. There are also limitations in Sharia-compliant investment avenues due to the gradual growth of Nigeria's Islamic finance markets. The lack of free takaful capacity brings a great problem for current and future takaful operators as it is needed to shield their risk exposure and absorb impacts in the business. Takaful operators' capacity is severely inadequate due to the limited decent takaful services. As a conclusion, the takaful industry in Malaysia has celebrated a steady growth compared to takaful in Nigeria. Our government has always continuously furthered the progress of takaful, despite the challenges that could slow down the growth and development of it. It is necessary to include a takaful educational course to teach the young people on the significance of possessing financial protection. Degree holders in takaful in certified programs should also be part of the educational course and at the same time ready to join the takaful business. Providing competitive payment for takaful operators is recommended in order to reduce the shortage of Sharia scholars in the takaful market. Meanwhile, the takaful operations in Nigeria have the possibilities of having significant growth despite the real growth being quite insignificant. Regulators, takaful operators, top-tier higher education institutions need to cooperate in organising takaful program or workshop exclusively made for both staff and as members. The financial markets need to be revitalized to give takaful operators and other non-interest financial institutions structured and beneficial Sharia-compliant investment opportunities. Takaful firms need to be established at the earliest opportunity to ensure that the takaful businesses continue to flourish and thrive.
Alright, that's all from us. Thank you for listening and Assalamualaikum.